And we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 102nd SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream here on YouTube. My name is Jonathan. I got some show and tell. How cool is that? That came from all the way across the ocean. You are hearing and hopefully looking at a two-string instrument. Goes by the name of Cifteli or the tambour. Meant to be strummed with a very, very thin pick. And if you know anything about me, one of the top two things about me is I can't deal with thin picks until now. I mean, if someone tells me that's how it's done, then I can get behind using a thin pick. I'm a different man on a different instrument. Isn't that gorgeous? From Albania, from northern Albania, handmade, hand-delivered. I want to give you guys a little show and tell. This particular one, again, two strings, but there are other versions with more strings. Pretty cool, huh? I've got a new connection. I've got a new Albanian connection, and he turned me on. Now I just have to learn how to play it. The little research I've done so far, watching, listening, and learning, it's common to let the higher string, I should say the upper string, the string closer to my chin, to allow that string to drone while I fret the string that's closer to the floor. So I hope to have more to tell you about the tambour here, made in northern Albania. You guys may know I moved to a new location. I have a new landlord. The landlord is from Albania, and he has one of these. And I said, well, you know, I wouldn't mind having one of those. So there you go. Little show and tell to kick off the 102nd SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream. How are you? Hope you had a good week. Hope you have some summer weather where you are. It's kicking in here. The heat is up. The humidity is up here in Connecticut. What are you going to do? It's summertime. Those of you who are dads, I hope you had a nice Father's Day. Last Sunday, we went to see the new Mission Impossible movie with Tom Cruise. So much fun. It's a good time. A good time was had by all. That was my big Father's Day request. I'm going to set this beautiful instrument aside and keep it safe. Hold on, you guys. There we go. Get it into a safe place. Back to the 6-string instrument. So yeah, I hope you had a good Father's Day. And you ready? You ready to play some guitar? I'm here for your questions. If you have a guitar-related question, put it in the chat. Put a whole bunch of question marks in advance of your question so I know your question is aimed at me. In between your questions, we got so much to talk about. We have a poll question up and running. What's your other instrument that you either want to play or maybe you already do play along with the guitar? Mandolin, ukulele, banjo, something else? Is there another instrument that you would love to add to your collection and learn how to play? Or maybe there's one that you already do play as maybe an alternative to the guitar. Let us know about that in the poll and especially in the chat if the ones I mentioned are not the ones that you are thinking about or leaning towards or starting to play. Mandolin, ukulele, or banjo. Let us know in the chat. Okay, we have a student quote of the week. Should I sell out? Got some very cool offers this week, meaning hilarious. I want to tell you a little bit about who's coming through town here in Connecticut, because if they're coming through my neighborhood, they're probably coming through your neighborhood. I went to see Jorma Kaukonen on Monday night. I want to tell you a little bit about that show. Have my own dumb question of the week. I ask it so you don't have to. By the way, in the description of this live stream, I'm going to post a Wikipedia link about that instrument, about that Cifteli, also known as a tambour from Albania, in case you want to learn more about it. We have a new segment in our live stream, segment called WTF. WTF, what does it stand for? You know what it stands for, Weekly Teaching Feature. WTF, right? It occurred to me that during my teaching week, something will pop up almost spontaneously. Maybe a student will request something or I'll scratch the surface and I'll come up with a quick lesson plan for a student in the heat of the moment. And it occurred to me that we could make that a weekly thing. And I could show you something that maybe I just taught a student kind of spontaneously just within maybe the past 48 hours. I want to share that with you. A little segment we call a weekly teaching feature, sort of like something, if you were taking lessons from me, either in person or online, the kind of thing that might come up in one of our lessons. Or if you were a fly on the wall, thought you might get a kick out of that. We have some lessons you'll never forget, including when the world hands you CFG. What do? The world hands you CFG. You grab your standard stock CF&G. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you some other stuff. We're going to revisit that first 5 challenge from last week because I've been having so much fun, and I'm pretty sure my students have been having fun with the first 5 challenge. If you weren't here last week, it's easy, it's fun, and it kind of punches above its weight for such a modest little exercise. I've been having a lot of fun with it with a lot of my students. Of course, we have our play along song of the night. It's a good one. It's one of my personal favorites. It's a song that I've performed so much myself that, number one, I had to look back at how the original actually goes, including getting some of the lyrics right. I've been singing a few of the lyrics slightly wrong, so it ought to be interesting tonight. I'm going to try to play it and sing it exactly like the original. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. Hey, by the way, welcome to Friday night. I forgot to say, Friday, are you still here? Usually we do this Saturdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, it's a Friday night. I have a gig tomorrow. I'll tell you more about that. But that's why we're here on a Friday night. So welcome to Friday night. We've done this before, and it was pretty successful. Who do I see in the chat? In the chat, I see Joseph checking in from Oklahoma City. Randy checking in from Colorado. Richard from Dallas. Chaz, hello from South Beach. Rock Lobster, I know you're up there in Maine. Thank you for being here, everybody. Another thing I want to say, on the 100th live stream, I gave away a bunch of stuff to you all. If you won something in our giveaway, I've already emailed you that you won. I've already sent something to you. Almost everybody who won something, almost everybody, your item is in the mail, and some of you have received it already. There's a gentleman who won a t-shirt from my favorite bookstore, the Book Barn. And if that was you, that's going to go in the mail tomorrow. I had to boogie on over to the bookstore and get that t-shirt, and that's going to go in the mail to you tomorrow. The person who won the t-shirt from the pizza restaurant right next door to me, that they're waiting. I'm waiting for them to print up those t-shirts, a new batch. So as soon as they print up their new batch of t-shirts, I'll put that in the mail to you. Everybody else who won something, it is either on its way to you or you've already received it, including, you remember that Sweetwater donated a very nice guitar case, and that arrived already. Thank you, Sweetwater, for doing that. Okay, so yeah, we got plenty to keep us busy on a Friday night. Before I forget, I'm going to stream my gig tomorrow the same way I'm doing this right now. It's going to be almost exactly the same time, around 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So especially those of you who are subscribers to my YouTube channel, and I hope you all are, you'll get like a little notification, right? That's how it typically works. But since I don't know exactly when we're playing, I can't really set it up ahead of time. So you might just get a little thing that says, you know, JQU or SongBike is live right now. You might have to keep your eyes open for it. I don't know if you'll get a proper, you know, email notification or something. But anyways, check us out tomorrow night, right about the same time. We're going to play for about an hour. Hope you get a kick out of it. If you can't watch it tomorrow night, no worries. It will be recorded, and I'll try to edit out any little chit chat between songs and stuff. So you can always watch it later. There you go. But that's why we're doing this on a Friday night. Okay. So, hey, how about if we get right into it? Let's learn something. I'm going to teach you a lesson you never forget. How about, okay, here's one. Here, speaking of our WTF segment, our weekly teaching feature, here it is. I was looking for a blues riff, a blues song, and I remembered good old R.L. Burnside. I bet we have some R.L. Burnside fans out there. Grab a capo, everybody. Grab your capo and put it behind your 3rd fret. And let me make this a little bit smaller so you can see it. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. I'm about to share my screen with you. Let's get right into learning something on the guitar, right? Let's get right into it. Okay, Someday Baby is the song. Capo at the 3rd fret. We're specifically going to be referring to R.L. Burnside's version of it. I'm going to grab my capo. So this came up spontaneously with a student. We're just looking for good blues riffs and songs that he could play along with. And this really fit the bill, and I think you're going to dig it. Okay, I'm just getting warmed up. How's that on your screen? You guys seeing that okay on your screen? Don't worry, you're not missing anything at the very bottom. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Now, here's the deal. Can you still read that okay? Now you can see the whole screen. Here's the deal. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is it's a very satisfying sound and a very satisfying physical thing to play. I'm repeating the top line. I got my 1 finger E power chord. Again, capo at the 3rd fret. You can see that okay, right? Capo at the 3rd fret. My index finger, definitely I recommend your index finger clamping hard on the 5th and 4th strings at the 2nd fret. Of course, my index finger can't help but to touch other strings. That's okay. I'm focusing my pick on the 3 bass strings. Hey, Winston is checking all the way from Wales. It's after midnight, Winston. Thank you for being here, Winston. Do what you can, man, but come back and watch it in the morning. It'll be worth it, though. I think you'll get a kick out of it. It's going to be a good live stream tonight. I got a lot of good stuff planned, but I understand if you got to get to bed sometime. I understand. Thank you for being here. Wingo says R.L. Burnside is amazing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start with my index finger clamping down on an E power chord. Imagine doing an E minor chord, but just doing it with 1 finger. My pick is only hitting the 3 bass strings. 2, 3, 2, 3. Right? Satisfying, right? Okay, so that is the tune. He varies a little bit, but between the first half, and the second measure, the second half, you've got the 2 main variations right there. If you listen super closely, you can hear when he actually switches from one to the other. But I'm going to give you the green light to play it just as written. So you're alternating between the riff that goes 0, 3, 0 at the end of the first measure of the top line, and the riff that goes 2, 3, 0 at the end of the second measure of the top line. You will do just fine repeating that whole line over and over again. Very satisfying. It's a 1 chord bluesy vamp, a 1 riff vamp, you could say. Okay, so like I said, this came up with a lesson with one of my students. I thought, I'm going to see if R.L. Burnside has a cool riff, a cool thing that could turn into something. Right? This is how I teach. Sometimes I just take a chance and say, okay, I'm going to get on my phone for a second, pull something up. This was the first one that came up. I was like, jackpot. Okay, so your number 1 goal without the recording, I mean, listen to the recording, but then turn off the recording and work on the top line as a riff, right? As a repetitive blues exercise. 2, 3, 2, 3. You can play the whole thing with your index and middle fingers. I recommend using your middle finger for the note, the 3rd fret note on the 6th string. I recommend doing that. And then using your index both for the E power chord and also for the 5th string 2nd fret note in the middle of measure 2. Okay, so then put the recording back on and start playing along with it. You'll get a reality check very quickly. If you're good to go, life is good. Or if somehow you're not quite keeping up with him, you got to go back to the drawing board, practice some more. Remember, you can go on YouTube. In fact, did I pull that up? I'm going to put a link to this song. Where are we here? I'll put a link to this song in the description of this live stream, a YouTube link, because if you can pull it up on YouTube, then you can slow it down a little bit, play it at 75%, get it right, 85%, get it right. You know what I'm saying? It's an amazing feature that YouTube provides for us guitar players. Okay, with the capo still on at the 3rd fret, check out line 2. Line 2 is an E blues scale. Okay, number 1, we should all practice our E blues scales. Number 2, with R.L. Burnside cranking away, you could add in some blues riffs. You could practice your E blues improvising with a capo on the 3rd fret and that scale right there. Okay, there's a chance for you to get a lot of bang for your buck. You can work essentially on your rhythm guitar skills. Right? And then work on your lead guitar skills, improvising with the E blues scale. Either way, capo at the 3rd fret. I know someone out there is thinking, well, what if you want to do it without the capo? There you go. I got you covered. Line 3, I'm going to take off my capo. Line 3 with no capo, we got a G power chord. Okay, 3 on the fat string with your index finger. 5 on the 5th string with your ring. 5 on the 4th string with your pinky. That's a G power chord. 2, 3. 2, 3. Same sound, it's the same riff, it's just that it's without a capo, you know? So you're in the official proper key, you could say, the key of G, and therefore with no capo on, you'd want to solo, improvise with a G blues scale. Okay, and there's the G blues scale at the bottom of the page. When you do that G blues scale without a capo, I highly recommend using your index finger for all the 3s, the 3rd fret notes. Middle finger for the only 4 that's on there. Ring finger for all the 5s, pinky for all the 6s. Hopefully that makes a lot of logical sense. Some of you might need discipline to make sure you don't vary from that system, right? Index on 3, middle on 4, ring on 5, pinky on 6. Trust me, it's not only is that the most efficient way to play, but by giving your ring and pinky some serious responsibilities, they get stronger, smarter, faster, more confident, all the above. Going back to the E blues scale with a capo on the 3rd fret, same concept. For the E blues scale with a capo on the 3rd fret, we need index finger to play the 1st fret notes, middle finger to play the 2nd fret notes, ring finger to play the 3rd fret notes. Trust me, that's the best, smartest way to divide up the work. And you just don't need your pinky for this because there are no 4th fret notes. And so give your pinky the day off. Okay. And of course, when I say 4th fret, 3rd fret, when I'm speaking about this right now, I'm speaking relative to the capo. Does that make sense? Okay. Long story short, always divide up the work with as many fingers as is practical, even if you have to go slower to make that happen. That's the smart thing to do. It's the smart move. Okay, so there you go. The first of a new series called WTF, a weekly teaching feature. Gives you a little taste as to what goes on. If you are a fly on the wall in my teaching studio, you would have seen me. Let's see, was it last couple of days ago? I was doing this with a student, and just so you know how my mind operates, because this worked well with one student, I make it kind of a master copy, and I fully intend to do this with as many students as possible because number 1, it's fun. Number 2, it's easy. Number 3, it's fun and easy. Why not? How great. I'll say one more thing before we move on. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to listen to the actual recording, okay? And to kind of toggle back and forth between listening, pausing it, practicing, listening, then hitting pause, go back to practicing. So important, okay? Listening attentively counts as practicing. If you say, hey, I'm going to practice for 45 minutes, I'm going to like maybe you have a certain number in mind, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. Whatever time you spend listening to the original recording, that counts, okay? That's not, that counts, especially if you're listening, you're focused. You're literally taking your finger and following along where you are. Okay, this, what you're looking at on the screen is a PDF available for members of my website, song-bike.com. It's sitting there waiting for you right now in the PDF section, as well as 60-something other PDFs. If you like this one, you're going to like the other ones as well. Why not become a member of my website? Why not? $10 a month and you get access to all this stuff. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing there. There you go. WTF, Someday Baby from R.L. Burnside. It's doable, right? I mean, it's pretty easy stuff, but because music happens in real time and our ultimate goal is to play along either with the actual recording or with our fellow, musicians in a live setting, that makes everything that much harder. It's not enough to understand it. It's not enough to be able to basically play it slowly, although that's how you start, right? The final step is playing it with a flow. Music isn't music unless it flows, right? So that's the ultimate thing. So hopefully it does seem easy on paper. That's how I reel you in. Like, oh, it's so easy, so easy. But then the ultimate thing, as you guys understand what I'm saying, the ultimate thing is playing along with the recording and or playing it in a group situation, By the way, it's a very cool arrangement of the song. Someday Baby is a pretty old blues song. It's been covered for a lot of people for a long time. And it's very cool what R.L. Burnside did with it. So I highly recommend checking out that recording. Okay, and I'm going to make a note to myself to make sure I put a YouTube link to that song in the description of this live stream. Okay, questions. Someone asked me a question. When you do ask a question, put it in the chat with a bunch of question marks. How's our poll doing? The question, what else do you want to play beyond just the guitar? 31% say, give me a ukulele. Banjo and mandolin, neck and neck, 6%. Other, 56%. I see Chaz is saying violin. Violin is his other go-to instrument. And remember, this could be an instrument that you would like to play someday, or it could be something you already play. And I wouldn't be surprised if a handful of you already play more than one. I wouldn't be surprised if a few of you would love to play more than one, and it's hard to pick. If you were to ask me, I would say ukulele. If you were to ask me what would be the quickest instrument to kind of get good at, if you already have some basic guitar skills, yeah, the ukulele. And if you get a baritone ukulele, I think it's the largest size. I've never heard of one larger than a baritone ukulele. The baritone ukulele strings are tuned to the same exact notes as the 4 skinny strings of a guitar. So the baritone ukulele is going to be even more familiar. Not only is it a stringed, fretted instrument, but literally it's, a D chord is a D chord, an A chord is an A chord, and so on, Winston is voting for piano. Randy is a tap dancer. Randy says, I consider tap dancing a percussion instrument. Yeah. Yep, makes sense. Hey, Matt has joined the chat. Lee plays bass and piano already. Yep. So the question, Lee, is if you were to add one of the above instruments, uke, mandolin, or banjo, would you want to play one of those? But you sound like you got your hands full already. Just a fun poll question. All right, you guys, a student quote of the week. I got a student quote of the week. I don't know if the person who said this is in the chat. Maybe I should wait till, or maybe I'll wait to see if the person shows up in the chat. I'll hold off on the student quote of the week. Should I sell out? Why not? You guys know that I used to be very irritated by these dumb offers, and they all say the same thing. They all say, your content is highly whatever, and we would love to work with you. And it's just a form letter. And then they name the product that they would love for me to sell to you. And it almost never has anything to do with music or guitar. And this week is no exception. So what was I offered to sell to you? Should I sell out? Okay, here's what I was offered to sell to you. Duolingo, the language app, they want to, work with me, quote. It wasn't clear what they wanted to do. I don't know. That's actually kind of cool. We all should, learn new languages. Okay. In no particular order, I was offered a flashlight to sell to you guys, a shower curtain, and a custom Hawaiian shirt. This is sort of like what you find after a hurricane, what you find sort of scattered around the beach. A shower curtain, a flashlight, a Hawaiian shirt. I also received an email with absolutely no mention of what the product was. Just, we love your content. You are so good. Please get in touch so we can work with you. And there was no mention of what the actual product was. So we'll never know. We'll never know. There you go. That's a little segment I call Should I Sell Out? Now you know what I know. Who's coming through town? Ooh, the people I'm going to talk about right now, I'm going to put links to a couple of them in the description of this live stream. But here's who's coming through my town. We got the tribute bands coming through. We got Linda Ronstadt tribute. We got Elton John tribute. We got James Taylor tribute. That's who's coming through town. Reverend Horton Heat is coming through town. I shared a video from Reverend Horton Heat in last week's live stream, but very, very fun. Who else is coming through town? Pure Prairie League. Remember Amy? Remember that song, Amy? Pure Prairie League is coming through town. And I'll share a link to them doing one of their songs in the description of this live stream. I try to find relatively recent links so you can see, sort of who's in the band now, what they look like, what they sound like. If this whets your appetite, the video that I'm going to link you to in the description of this live stream features the drummer singing. In case you feel like singing drummers are just mind-blowing or a big anomaly or something like that, well, then you're going to want to check out the song because the drummer sings. There you go. He's the lead singer, and he makes it look easy. And something that really caught my attention, I bet we have some Johnny A fans out there. Everybody know Johnny A? Great guitar player, has his own signature Gibson guitar, which is a very cool looking guitar. I'd love to try one someday. Johnny A is coming through town with a show called Beck Ola, like Jeff Beck, BECK-Ola. It's him and a band sort of paying tribute to Jeff Beck and presumably playing a bunch of songs that reflect Jeff Beck's career. That's a bold move. I mean, Jeff Beck, one of the most innovative electric guitar players. So good on you, Johnny A, for putting together a Jeff Beck tribute. I found a very cool Johnny A video on YouTube. It's him doing an instrumental version of Can't Find My Way Home. And it's so tasteful. It's so good. And if you are not a Johnny A fan already, you're about to become one. It's so good. And one more thing. The video, I see it in lots of YouTube videos like you guys. This particular video, I don't know who was in charge, but the sound quality is so good. I mean, just surprisingly good. So you're going to want to check that out. Johnny A and his band doing instrumental version of Can't Find My Way Home. As you guys know, I always want to give extra credit to guitar players who put themselves in a situation where they are carrying the whole show. Instrumentally on the guitar, whether it's someone like Reverend Horton Heat or Johnny A. I mean, they might be singing as well, but especially if the focus is on their instrumental playing, I'm a big fan, and I really respect that so much. So that's who's coming through my town, and I bet they'll be coming through your town before long. Okay, checking off a few of these things. Let's learn something. Ralph is saying the Irish tin whistle. That's your go-to instrument, Ralph, the Irish tin whistle. Joseph says the Hawaiian shirt would go with the uke. Yeah. Ralph is saying that there's a John Prine tribute group coming through the Ozark Folk Center. Where are you checking in from, Ralph? Ozark just makes me think of Arkansas, maybe. And Ralph says, I bet they're coming through your town. Yeah, okay, I'll keep my eyes open for that. The John Prine tribute group. Is there like a specific name? I know you say Keith Sykes is one of the featured members. But yeah, let us know. Let us know if there's like a specific name for the group. Because I'm a big John Prine fan. We might even hear a little John Prine music later on. Hint, hint. So stick around. Okay, let's get right into a lesson you never forget. Why not? You guys know that I teach and I teach and I teach, and then it's Sunday. And then I teach and I teach, and I really take pride in a bunch of things that I teach, whether it's some little thing that I made up, or in the case of what you're about to see, something that definitely came from another teacher, and I'm going to tell you all about him in a second. Okay, we're about to learn some Blue Note shortcuts. Take a look at your screen, everybody. No capo necessary. If you still have your capo on, now's the time to take it off. Blue Note shortcuts. I'm going to give credit to the guy who kind of, the way he presented this information really resonated with me. And so that's why I felt comfortable making it part of my teaching. I'm going to give him credit in a minute. Okay, but in the meantime, Blue Note shortcuts. Take a look at the page. And again, this is available as a PDF on my website. If you already are a member of my website, you can go to the PDF section, scroll way down to the bottom, the 60th or 70th PDF, and you'll see Blue Note shortcuts. You could print it out right now. Okay. What this concept, I really loved how this guy presented it, so I stole it. And let's just get right into it. See that A chord, the 3 black notes, good old A major chord, right? You guys know your A chords. I'm going to shift my chair over a little bit. Is that better or worse? That's worse. I'm going to shift the other way. That's better. Okay. Grab your A chord, good old A major, easy peasy, right? Now, the premise here is that you are strumming an A chord, and you want to add something to it melodically with a bluesy sound. This is so handy and so easy. Now, the white notes are the bluesy notes, and they're scattered all around. I call that orbiting. They're orbiting around the A chord. By the way, the black dot with a circle around it, that's the note A, the root note. You always want to know where the root notes are. Okay, so now instead of doing the A with 3 separate fingers, I'm going to do it with 1 finger, because I'm focusing really on individual notes here. I'm not going to be strumming this A a lot. So the fact that I'm lightly touching the skinny string with my bar, that's fine. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking so much. I'm going to improvise a little bit with this A chord so you can see where we're headed here. Here's my A, and I'm going to start playing, adding in some of those blue notes. Okay, fun, right? I'm just sort of dancing around, but I keep returning to that 1 finger A chord. Okay, so check it out. The white circle on the second skinny string, 1st fret. I'm just going to move my index finger bar back, and I'm going to slide it up. Now I'm putting my pressure on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. So as soon as I slide up from the 1st fret to the 2nd fret, I have access to all those black notes, you know, the proper A chord. But I've just given the listener a nice little bluesy touch. Same thing with that white circle on the 4th string, 1st fret. You know, I haven't even included my other fingers yet. I'm doing all this with 1 finger, you know. Now, you don't have to slide. The reason I'm doing this all with 1 finger is because I want to keep my other 3 available. Check this out. My pinky's going to reach up to the 5th fret on the 3rd skinny string and also the 4th skinny string. You do not, I repeat, you do not have to maintain that A chord when you reach up with your pinky. In fact, let's not even worry about it. But I'm going to jump back to get those black notes from the 5th fret back to the 2nd fret. Now, if you have the means to keep that index finger bar in place while your pinky stretches up, great. If you don't worry about it. If you almost do, What might make a huge difference is making sure your thumb is pointing straight up to the ceiling, but it's hidden from view. Notice how you can't see my thumb, right? It's hidden from view. That's because my thumb is pretty much centered on the fat, curvy part of the neck. It's not hanging out up here. But again, I'll say it again, you do not have to keep that index finger down when you're reaching up to get the 5th fret notes. So I hope you are enjoying the bluesy notes that are orbiting right around this this 1-finger A major chord. The one I haven't mentioned so far, 1st string, 3rd fret. I like grabbing that with my ring finger, but you might do it with any finger, not your index. So we're going to save your index for the A chord. Because the idea is we want to create that center, that tonal center, where we're not just winging it. You know, we want to keep returning this home base, that, you know, the sound of the home base. You know, sliding is a pretty sweet sound. And again, I'm sliding from the 1st fret on the 2nd string up to the 2nd fret on the 2nd string. I'm doing the same thing on the 4th string from the 1st fret, sliding up to the 2nd fret. Okay, you get a lot of bang for your buck here, right? Okay, now, we're not done. We're just getting started. If you truly feel comfortable with this and truly have it memorized, meaning, you know, you got your 1-finger major chord, but you can reach back and get a couple of notes there, reach up to the 5th fret and get a couple of notes with your pinky, right? This is a portable thing, my friends. For the fun of it, I'm going to put my index 5. By the way, that's a C chord. It's the same physical thing I did for the A. I'm just moving it up 3 frets. In fact, I'm going to move all of this up 3 frets. Right? This does not only happen on an A chord, right? So now you have a 1-finger major chord bluesy thing. You can do all up and down the neck. You know, the band's on a C chord. The band changes to a D chord, move up 2 frets. Band goes to a G chord. You have, if you can, up at 12. You know, a lot of possibilities. Okay, take a breath. Questions, comments? What do you think? A to Z Me says, is it Saturday in America? It is still Friday. Yeah. What? We got 7:42 local time here in Connecticut. Ralph is saying, in regards to the Ozark Folk Center, it's a state park in Mount View, Arkansas. And Ralph, you're from Conway, Arkansas. Is that right? Thank you for being here. I don't get out enough, so I love hearing where you guys are from. Okay. So questions, comments? Because if you get that idea on the A chord, we're going to whip through the F and the D really quickly. In fact, maybe you guys, hopefully you're already doing that. The D is as easy as it looks. But you guys, you're good with what we're doing with the A. Blue note shortcuts, meaning you all know your A chord, right? And now you know these blue notes that are orbiting around it that are ripe for the picking. Let's skip ahead to the D, because the D really is as easy as it looks. We got our D chord. Again, the black dot with a circle around it is the note D. I'm going to give it a quick tune-up. And check out how easy it is to memorize the blue notes for that D chord. 1st string, 1st fret, 2nd string, 1st fret, 3rd string, 1st fret. All those notes will give you a nice bluesy flavor. But don't lose the listener's attention by drifting away from the actual D chord, right? I took my middle finger, I just slid from the first string first fret up to the first string second fret, because that sets me up for success with my D chord. See that? As long as you do that slide with your middle finger, you can form the entire D chord very quickly. And I'm just arpeggiating the D chord, meaning I'm just plugging the individual notes. Second string, third string. I'm going to do the same kind of slide on the third skinny string with my index finger. Ah, sounds great, right? So easy. On the second string, it's no big deal, but I'm going to choose just to fret it. Second string, first fret with my index finger. And I know that note is going to lead very nicely into my root note. So I'm going from the second string, first fret to the second string, third fret. Now let's pause for a second. Physically, none of this is hard, right? I mean, D chord, nothing hard about a D chord. Those three white notes, and there's nothing hard about this. You have two challenges. Number one, make it sound musical. You know, if you're improvising, like I'm encouraging you to, it's up to you to sell this to the audience. You know, wing it, make it sound good. These are the raw ingredients, right? But you're going to make it sound good. Your second challenge is to prove that you really know this and move it all up. Let's say 2 frets. There's my D chord, move it up 2 frets. By the way, the name of this is E. Now, D chord up 2 frets is now E. Now I'm going to see if I truly remember where those blue notes were. And of course I do. Right? They're just waiting, like literally right behind my fingers, right? All those bluesy notes were all 3rd fret, 1st string, 3rd fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret, 3rd string. You got the idea? So again, you get a lot of bang for your buck here. I mean, if you can play a D chord, there's half the job right there, right? And then these white notes on the page, they're white circles. Really should call them blue notes, right? I mean, they're right there waiting for you. So, hey, let's give credit where credit is due. Everything I'm teaching you tonight, I was not fresh in my brain. I mean, I never looked at it this exact way before until, let's give him some credit. This cool book by Fred Sokolow, Bluegrass Guitar from Hal Leonard Publications. Great book. What you're looking at essentially came from this book. I made a few little tiny changes, but it was 100% inspired by this book, and you should get a copy of Bluegrass Guitar by Fred Sokolow. Now you might say, wait a minute, this is bluesy stuff. And yes, it is bluesy stuff. And this is page 59. And he says, adding blue notes to the movable major scales. And that's the title that he's giving to this. I'm not referring to major scales at all. I'm specifying these 3 specific chords, which he basically does. Anyways, great book. And before we get to that F thing right there, let's give Fred some credit. And I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to stop sharing this one for a second. And here is his website. I'll put a link to this. Here we go. There's the man. I have learned so much from his material. Look at that. He's got a lot going on, man. He'll teach you anything. He'll teach you a lesson you never forget. I'm going to scroll a little bit so you can see what else is in his website. Look at that. He's teaching you all that kind of stuff. Let's learn a little bit about Fred. There's a little bit of his bio. Everybody see that okay? Teaches guitar, banjo, dobro, mandolin, lap steel, and ukulele. Currently over 150 of his books or DVDs in print, sold all over the world. Holy cow. I'm just scrolling a little bit. I'm going to put a link. Well, tell you what, I'm going to put a link to his website in the chat right now, but I'll also put it in the, I'll also put it in the, there we go. I'll put it in the description of this live stream. Okay, there we go. For Benny Bear is asking, how advanced do you have to be for the bluegrass book? Not very advanced at all. I mean, I never want to tell somebody, oh, anybody, you know, someone who just got the guitar yesterday can play every page in this book. But it's a relatively easy, well, it contains some relatively easy stuff. And the beautiful thing is that it comes with audio access. You can hear what you're supposed to sound like. My copy is old enough that it came with a CD. Now I would assume it comes with online access to what everything is supposed to sound like. You can't go wrong working with a teacher, you know, an actual sit-down lesson with an actual teacher. But a really good book is the next best thing, especially if there's audio showing you what it's supposed to sound like. So yeah, I recommend this book highly. As boring as the title is, this whole series that Hal Leonard has put out, the books are really good. The titles, you know, bluegrass guitar, you wouldn't know it from the title, but their blues guitar book from Hal Leonard is terrific. The country guitar book is terrific. And they all look about the same. They just put a different guitar on the cover, but you know, black book, boring title. Yeah. So anyways, I want to give Fred his due. When I flipped through this book recently and I saw how he presented what I'm showing you right now, I'm going to close down his website here. Okay. When I saw how he presented, I thought, oh, wait a minute. That's, so number one, I want to share it with you guys. Number two, I want to give him some credit. Okay, so where are we here? Let's wrap this up and move on. Don't forget, I'm here for your questions. So feel free to put your questions in the chat with a bunch of question marks in advance. Okay, so there's the one in the middle, the concept based on an F major chord. Now, some of you are already saying, oh, I'm not good at F. Good, because you're going to benefit the most from this because, or at least you'll benefit as much as anybody else. The point here isn't necessarily grabbing the F chord and strumming an F chord, but it helps to visualize the F chord and know what blues notes are orbiting around that shape. Remember, if I circled it, a black dot with a circle, that's the note F. So I'm looking at the F note on the first string, first fret. See that at the top of the diagram, there's an arrow pointing to a white circle above the second string. That is my way of calling your attention to the open second string. It is a bluesy note. It's the flatted fifth note of an F major scale. Of all the bluesy notes, the flatted fifth note is the one that's the most challenging to our ear. Some of you might be improvising those notes right now, and when you get to that open second string, your ear might reject it. You might think, I don't know about that note. That one sounds a little too out there. I get it. Others of you might like it just fine. There's nothing wrong with that note. Number one, if it bugs you, don't play it. Don't worry about it. Number two, if it kind of bugs you, but you don't want to give up on it, as soon as any of these white notes on this whole page, immediately follow it with one of the black notes. That will create this kind of resolution, and then it'll be like especially a bluesy note that might sound a little bit challenging to your ear. It'll be over before you know it. just a pinch, like they say when you get your vaccine, just a pinch. You know, okay, so bottom line is, if you are not great at an F chord, you're off the hook. because no one's asking you to strum an F chord here. It just helps to visualize it. If you are great at an F chord, well, my final word here on the subject before I move on. Oh yeah, Winston says it's a passing through note. Yeah. At least that's the conventional way to play a note like that, the flat 5, as a passing note. You pass through it on your way to something else. Having said that, it's a free country. You can double down on that note. I mean, it's like, how much spice, how much salt or pepper, or how much sugar you put in your coffee. I mean, you can lay into that note, especially if you dig it. Don't let anyone, including me, tell you what not to do. It's improvising. If you are perfectly competent and comfortable with the F chord, then yeah, you kind of toggle back and forth between strumming an F chord and then how satisfying is that? And last thing, as I've said with the A and the D, take that F, move it up the neck, right? Any way you want to, and test yourself. Where are the white notes now? Well, guess what? They're orbiting in the same relationship as they were orbiting around the F chord. Even that open second string, you move up the neck. I'm just moving everything up 2 frets. What was an F chord is now a G chord. Okay. So what was the open second string is the second string, second fret. Everything moved up 2 frets. Okay, so it's right there waiting for you. That is kind of the ultimate test, right? With a lot of concepts on the guitar, a lot of exercises, a lot of things. It's step 1 is learning it. Step 2 is moving the whole thing up the neck and pushing yourself. Depending on the exact thing, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not easy. But think of how good that is for your brain. Okay, and why are we doing this? We're partly doing what we do on our guitars to keep our brains healthy. The thing you're just looking at is available at my website, the Blue Note shortcuts, again, in the PDF section of my website called www.song-bike.com. Who's ready to do our play along song? Let's do it. Any questions though before we move on? If you do have a question, especially about what we just did, put it in the chat. If you don't have any questions at this exact moment, I'm going to wet my whistle. We're drinking Gatorade tonight. That's just how my day worked out. Can't complain. And let's pull up our virtual play along song on the screen right now. Bear with me. I'm going to close down that. Okay. What do we want? From the pen of the late, great John Prine, one of his best tunes, although they're all great tunes, a song called Paradise. And you're about to see Paradise popping up on your screen right now. There you go. I chose this song for lots of reasons. Take a good look. What do you need for this song? D, G, and A. Okay, I'm going to wet my whistle while you guys look at this, and I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. Ralph, I see your question. Was Fred Sokolow playing a baritone uke on his website right there? I'll tell you in a second. It may well have been. Hold on. Well, on the home page, yeah, you got it. That was a baritone uke. You got it. Good catch. Good eyes. Yep. Okay, so Paradise, one of my favorite John Prine songs. I'm going to push you guys to play with a level of precision that he might not exactly be doing himself. Doesn't mean we can't have a little, push ourselves to play a little bit more precision. Okay, so here's what I mean. When I listened to the recording of John Prine doing the song from his debut album, his strumming sort of sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to push you to go. Okay. Those hammer-ons, I hear that sound in there, whether it's John Prine himself or someone else putting that in. I hear that sound now and then on his recording. That bass note run, that's something that we all should do. Number one, because it sounds great. Number two, you want to be good at bass note runs. That bass note run, I'm looking at line 2, the third measure where it says 0, 2, 4. Technically, that's at that moment, the band is on an A chord. Instead of strumming an A chord, we're going to do a bass note run that you could say reflects the A chord. For instance, it's the open A string, the 5th string, 5th string 2nd fret. I highly recommend using your index finger. 5th string 4th fret, ring finger. Please, please, please do not worry about keeping that finger on the 2nd fret when it's time to play the 4th fret. There's no reason to. I've seen a lot of well-meaning students who push themselves to keep a hold onto something, even if there's no logical reason to. They see it as a personal challenge, and I sometimes have to say, look, you don't get any more gold stars for keeping something clamped down if it's unnecessary. If it's necessary, great. But okay, so the overall feeling of this tune, it's a waltz time tune, 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? The strum pattern that we're applying to this tune is boom, chicka, chicka, boom, chicka, chicka, boom. See why I call it boom, chicka, chicka? I'm squeezing my pick a little bit tighter when I pluck, in this case, the open 4th string, the D string, just a little bit tighter, I'm not going crazy. And then I immediately relax my grip for down, up on the treble strings. By the way, don't overthink it. When you see that down, up on the treble strings, it doesn't matter exactly how many strings you hit. 3 strings, 2 strings, 4 strings. The less you think about that, the better. And upstrokes are almost always little glancing strokes off of maybe 2 strings. So the less you think about the quantity of strings, the better. Boom, chicka, chicka, boom. There we go. Down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Okay, pretty straightforward. On the G chord, it's the 6th string you're going to hit first. And the way we're playing it, there only are those 2 chords, D and G. At the end of line 1 and the end of line 2, we're putting in a little hammer on. I've got my D chord in place. But right before I go to pluck the 3rd skinny string, I lift my index finger off. Now I do pluck the 3rd string, and I firmly hammer on to that string with my index finger after I pluck the open string. Right, a little hammer on. Do not worry about how loud that hammer on is. If you do it and it's more like, that's okay. It'll get louder as you get a little more strength and confidence. Whatever you do, do not hit it as hard as you can. It's number one, it's not necessary. Number two, you're just going to get a sore finger. Ideally, yes, you hit it firmly enough so the sound keeps ringing, like, right? If it's not happening tonight, give it time. Don't beat yourself up and don't go crazy. Immediately after that hammer on, we're following it with a down, up, down, up. Okay, so I'm going to play through the first 2 lines just quickly, just to give you a sense of how this fits with the song. He starts singing right from the beginning. There's no intro or anything. And it sounds like this. I'm going to go a little bit extra slowly. Don't worry, this is not the official play along. When I was a child, my family would travel down to western Kentucky, where my parents were born. Now, to the best of my ability, I'm going to play it that exact same way every single time. If I don't, I don't. I'm going to try to. Notice how every line is 5 measures, and the 5th measure, the last measure of each line, is we're still on the D chord, but we're doing that little hammer-on thing. Mr. Prine is not consistent. Sometimes he does include that 5th measure at the end of either line 1 or line 2. Sometimes he doesn't. Most of the time he does. So that's why I put it in there. But yes, there are times when he doesn't put that in. And you just gotta be ready for it. You'll know if he's gone on, if you'll know if he omitted that, because you'll hear him start singing again. And that's how you know it's time to continue on, which happens to be a D chord anyways. You know what I'm saying? But I want to get you guys up and running, so I included that 5th measure at the end of every line. I am not accustomed to putting that 5th measure in. I've been playing this song for years, and I don't do it that way. So I'm going to the best of my ability, I'm going to do it that way every time. But we'll see. We'll find out. Okay, real quick before we actually do our play along, at the bottom of this page, I thought I'd throw this your way. Whether you wanted to think of this as a little guitar solo or as an actual like intro to the song, it's simply D and G chords and A chords up the neck that do a pretty nice job of reflecting the melody. Why am I putting that there? Because I'd only used half the paper and I had a second half blank. So I thought, well, come on, man. I mean, I'm a teacher. Teachers got to teach. So you got to use the rest of the paper for something, right? So the bottom, what I just did there, that intro / solo, for some of you, that might be your first time playing those chords or your first time playing them in real time, like as part of a song. So enjoy those. It might be a very cool weekend challenge for you to put some time in and get good at that. Those of you who look at the bottom of the page and find that very easy, well, then I definitely expect you to do that while we're playing it. Because that's, you know, if you play those chords correctly, that reflects the melody of the tune. When I say play them correctly, if at all possible, to the best of your ability, whatever the highest sound is, like 5 on the skinny string, make sure that is extra loud. Okay? That's where the actual melody of the tune is. So it's definitely not enough just to grab 5, 7, 7 and bang those 3 strings. We really want to bring out the melody. Okay, now I'm making a concerted effort to make the top note of every stack of numbers a little bit louder. Okay, you ready to do this? Let's do it. What do I need? I need lyrics. I've sung this song for a bunch of years, and unknown to me, I had changed a couple of the lyrics a little tiny bit, and I'm going to try to sing it the right way tonight. There's an innocent mistake, but it happens. Okay, you guys ready? Questions, comments? No capo necessary. Boom, chicka, chicka, boom, chicka. We're probably going to go a little bit slower, although I have a tendency, partly because I want to push you guys a little bit. I can envision myself speeding up a little bit as we go. There's like 4 verses here, 4 verses and 4 courses. Just, you know, to start off slowly, but then maybe ramp up to the more or less the speed he does it at. Okay, you ready for your boom, chicka, chicka, boom? I'll see you on the other side. I'll count to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When I was a child, my family would travel down to western Kentucky, where my parents were born. There's a backwards old town, so often remembered, so many times that my memories are worn. And Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. Sometimes we travel right down the Green River, the abandoned old prison behind Adrian Hill, where the air smelled like steaks and we'd shoot with our pistols. But empty pop bottles are all we would kill. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? Sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. Then the coal company came with the world's largest shovel, stripped all the timber and stripped all the land. They dug for the coal till the earth was forsaken, wrote it all down as the progress of man. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train is hauled it away. When I die, let my ashes flow down the Green River. Let my soul roll on up to the Rochester Dam. I'll be halfway to heaven with paradise waiting, 5 miles away from wherever I am. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County, down by the Green River where paradise lay? I'm sorry, my son, but you're too late in asking. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. Mr. Peabody's coal train has hauled it away. I thought I'd throw in a little bit of that bluesy stuff that we talked about a minute ago, right? I knew the song was ending on a D chord. As I was finishing it up, I thought, oh wait, I could little bluesy stuff at the end. I don't know, why not, right? How'd you do? I know we got a little bit faster there at the end. I realized that it felt really good at the end of the second line to repeat those last 2 measures again. So you might have noticed I did it. Why not? You know, I did it. It felt too abrupt to go right back to the beginning again. So there you go. Questions, comments, thoughts? Hey, Joseph. Joseph has joined the chat. Aside from the fact that I just plain like this song, I love this song. As a teacher, we got D, G, and A. Any excuse to make sure that you're comfortable with D, G, and A, is a great thing. This boom, chicka, chicka, boom, chicka, chicka, classic waltz time pattern. The skill of reaching in and getting one very specific bass note and then responding with chord strumming, extremely important skill. We happen to be applying it to the boom, chicka, chicka pattern, but you'll always have reasons to be good at grabbing a chord by hitting a certain bass note very confidently and clearly. You're always going to want to do that. Randy says, that was great. I love that song. You're very welcome, Randy. thank you for rocking out with us. Okay, there you go. Again, what you're looking at is a PDF that is available at my website, song-bike.com. There's our play along song of the night. Thank you, John Prine. Now, there's one or two of you out there who are new to John Prine, and I envy you discovering all his great songs, man. So much great John Prine music out there. And sadly, John Prine passed away a while back, but his music is better than ever. Okay, so you guys, I'm checking off a couple of things here. I didn't see, I'm going to go with the student quote of the week. I didn't see the person who said this in the chat, but I can't hold back any longer. Student quote of the week. The 100th live stream, I had a bunch of things to give away, and one was a big coffee table book called Electric Guitars and Illustrated History, something like that. And I picked a name out of a hat, and that person got that electric guitar book, and that they sent me an email, and what they said cracked me up. And so I thought I got to make that student quote of the week. And the student says, "The book arrived safe and sound. It's a sign from the universe. Either I'm destined to get an electric guitar or a coffee table for the book, or both." That cracked me up. There you go. A guitar or a coffee table or both. That's the student quote of the week. Have you voted in the poll? Did you vote today? Our poll question. The poll question of the night is, what else do you want to play? Now that you're up and running on the guitar, you ever think about playing the uke, the banjo, the mandolin, or other? And other is way ahead by a mile. I did not see that coming. 61% say that, yeah, the other instrument that you are intending to play, you'd like to play, or maybe that you already play, is not a uke, a banjo, or mandolin. It is other. And I see you guys are putting it in the chat. And let us know if you're one of the others. Put it in the chat. Let us know. But in the meantime, 16% are into the ukulele, 16% banjo, neck and neck, and mandolin, 6%. I remember the first time I ever tried a mandolin, I'd probably played the guitar for about 3 years, give or take. I grabbed a mandolin, and it was like just getting kicked in the head when I realized how small the neck was and how close the frets were. It really felt like a torture device. Anybody have that initial reaction on picking up a mandolin? I've since kind of made my peace with the mandolin a little bit, but holy cow, that was a shock to the system the first time I ever picked up a mandolin. Check. Hey, I always want to remind you guys, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Why not follow me? Then you get heads ups such as Friday night show instead of a Saturday show. Head over to Instagram or Facebook, do a search for the term SongBike, all one word, SONGBIKE. And that's how you can be in the know about anything regarding this live stream. I have an affiliate link. I'm going to pay the bills for a second here. If you are going to buy something from Sweetwater anyways, why not head over to Sweetwater using the affiliate link? I know you guys have been doing this because Sweetwater sends me a little, there we go. They send me a little report now and then. When you click on that link, which is also in the description of this live stream, and you head over to Sweetwater using that link, Sweetwater is aware that I sent you. And whatever you buy, not just tonight, but I think for the next, I think 14 days after you click on the link, Sweetwater knows that I sent you, and they kick back a little of their profits to supporting this live stream. So that's a way, it's a win-win kind of situation. You get something cool from Sweetwater, including that free candy they throw in, and then the SongBike live stream gets a little taste of that, and it's a win-win situation. So for those of you who have already done that, I say thank you. And for those of you who are going to buy yourself some new strings or picks or new guitar or whatever from Sweetwater, if you're going to do it anyways, I thank you in advance for using that link. I hope you had a nice Father's Day. Some of you who have joined us since we started an hour ago. Hope you had a nice Father's Day. I played the guitar. Father's Day was a great day. I saw the new Mission Impossible movie. So fun. I had yummy breakfast with my family, and then we saw the movie. I played the guitar, took a nap. It doesn't get much better than that. Just a great night. Don't go anywhere. We have plenty of time ahead of us, and I have two big things I want to share with you. A couple lessons you'll never forget. I want to say hi to my mom, say hi to my wife, anybody else who is related to me who is watching. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm just checking off a bunch of things on my list. I've mailed out the giveaway prizes from the 100th live stream. If you haven't received yours already, you will receive it soon. The winner of the Book Barn t-shirt, my favorite used bookstore where I get a lot of guitar books from, that t-shirt is going out in the mail tomorrow. If you won the t-shirt from the pizza restaurant, my new landlord, as soon as they make up new t-shirts, I will send yours. I don't know when that's going to be, but I'll send you your t-shirt. Everybody else, you should have already received it, or you will be receiving your giveaway prize very soon. And a couple of you have got in touch with me to say you already received it, and that makes me happy. Okay, I'm just checking out what you guys are talking about in the chat. I see. Don't forget to give a like to this live stream if you are so inclined. I don't know what YouTube does with likes. It's better to have a like than to not have a like. So I thank you for that. I mean, I really don't know. It doesn't hurt my channel. I'll say that, Hey, you know what you can do to really help me out? Easy peasy. Just tell a friend about this live stream. You guys have very consistently been showing up week after week to watch it live. And those of you who watch this after the fact, you guys are very consistent. My numbers are so solid. I would love to double those numbers. So if you want to help me out, just tell a friend. Anybody you know who plays the guitar, especially someone who wants to learn new stuff. I figure that's, why I'm here. Especially if I learn something new, I definitely want to share it with you guys. And I'm here for your questions if there's something that's bugging you. Oh, I got speaking of which, my own dumb question. I almost forgot my own dumb question of the week. I ask dumb questions on this show, so you don't have to. This week's dumb question. Is there some trick to finger picking? I mean, people who do it, they make it look so easy, right? I mean, what's the trick to it? There's got to be some trick, right? It's a dumb question. And yet, yeah, there is a trick to it. There is a beyond just practice. So that's my dumb question of the week. Is there a trick to finger picking? Those of you who have strummed with a pick, you're loyal to your pick, you love it, but you see people doing finger picking, you think, oh, I would love to be able to do that. But what's it looks hard, right? It looks hard. A couple of things I can tell you that might demystify finger picking a little bit. What makes finger picking look hard and sound beautiful is the repetitive patterns. Many songs, including good old Dust in the Wind, are based on a repetitive finger picking pattern. Now that my left hand is changing chords and doing different things over here, it gives the illusion that all this stuff is happening, when in reality, my right hand just kept repeating the same pattern over and over again. So finger picking might look hard, but you scratch the surface and you realize the person is doing a repetitive pattern. They practiced that pattern, they got good at that pattern, but it's still just a pattern, that can be polished and repeated and perfected, So a lot of the finger picking that you've heard in your life, especially if it's something that, the person is both singing and playing the guitar, not a shock that they're repeating the same thing over and over again, because their focus is on the singing, right? You can't sing worse just to accomplish something on the guitar. In fact, just the opposite. You to sing your best, you might have to keep the guitar playing a little bit simpler than otherwise, right? So number one, pattern picking. Pattern picking doesn't have to be hard, but often sounds fantastic when done with speed and confidence. Another thing that might not be obvious right away, keeping your hand loose, relaxed. no tension. I mean, it means finger picking by definition is relatively quiet, right? It's not just quiet because the flesh of my fingers is not as abrasive or as unyielding as the plastic of a pick. It's also that my muscles are relatively relaxed. I'm not trying to make loud sounds. Here's what it sounds like if I made an extra effort. I mean, yeah, it was louder, but did you hear how clunky that sounded? Much better. Okay, so is there a trick to finger picking? Keeping your entire shoulder, arm, elbow, bicep, whatever muscles are in your forearm, whatever those are called, your finger muscles as loose and relaxed as possible. And accepting the fact that, of course, the guitar is going to be relatively quiet when you finger pick it. That's fine. That's fine, you know. Working on patterns, repetitive patterns. That's one of the tricks to sounding like you're doing real finger picking, you know. A lot of repetition, a lot of repetition to get comfortable. Quick story. I got a guitar, I got a book, I saw the page that introduced finger picking, and I did what the book said, and it was clunky and slow when I did it. I thought, okay, well, that sounds horrible. I think I'm doing it right, but I moved on. And it was years before I went back to finger picking. And if I could go back in time, I would tell 16-year-old Jonathan that, yeah, you did it right, but you did it slow and aggressively. And how about doing it slowly and gently? And now do it all day long. I could have done this as a 16-year-old. I could have. I really think I could have if I had maybe taken a lesson. That would have helped, right? So, dumb question of the night. Is there a trick to finger picking? Yeah. As relaxed as possible. Oh, one more thing. If you want to be a pro, and I know I do, in general, your thumb is in charge of the 3 fat strings. Your ring finger is going to be dedicated to the skinny first string. Your middle finger is only going to be plucking the second skinny string. Your index is only going to be plucking the third string. See that orientation? Ring on the first, middle finger plucking the second, index plucking the third. And your thumb's responsible for the 3 fat strings. You've got to make peace with that orientation. In general, I'm speaking super generally now, you're not allowed to pluck the wrong string with the finger that's not supposed to be on that string. In general, I know those of you who are great finger pickers, don't get all crazy on me, but you want to have the discipline, certainly the discipline, to give every string its own finger, and the thumb is in charge of the 3 bass strings. And then whatever pattern you're doing, you'll already know which finger. If the pattern goes, say, from the 6th string to the 3rd string, well, the thumb is in charge of the 6th string, and the index is in charge of the 3rd string. I'm grabbing a G chord at the moment. So that eliminates any question about, well, what right hand, what picking hand finger should go there. Well, you've got your orientation. You should already know that. Your thumb's in charge of the 6th string. Your index is in charge of the 3rd skinny string. End of story. Are there exceptions to that? Yeah, but in the beginning, you don't want to deal with those exceptions. So there you go. If you're curious, of course, I can help you with a book. This book called The Guitar Year One. Woohoo! It is available for immediate download from my website. And page 41, Finger Picking 101. There it is right there. Finger Picking 101. Bunch of common patterns. Oh, look at all that good stuff. It's an electronic book. That means, should you be so inclined, you go to my website, www.song-bike.com. You download it, you get it instantly on your computer, and then you can choose to print it out or not print it out. But it's an electronic book. It's not a hard copy like I just showed you. Anyways, that book has those pages that would definitely help you with your fingerpicking. So there you go. Dumb question of the week, and now it has been answered. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a good one. Randy says, I'm going to make a genuine effort at fingerpicking again. I keep getting frustrated, but now that I'm retired, I have no excuse. Yeah. Wingo says, I wonder why I've never gotten any better at fingerpicking despite years of practice. Starting with a simple pattern and repeating it over and over again, and just keep reminding yourself to stay loose, relaxed, increase the speed. But as you increase the speed, keep asking yourself, am I getting tense? Then slow it back down again. It's easier said than done, to tell someone, oh, just stay loose, keep everything relaxed. Not easy. I think it's a human thing. Someone gives you a challenge, and for a few billion years, human beings say, oh, I'm going to rise to the challenge. I'm going to throw every muscle in my body at that challenge. And that's how we survived, right? All these millennia. But that instinct does not serve us well as musicians, So yeah, hey, thank you for your super chats. Randy, I see your super chat. Thank you. And Chaz, I see your super chat. Thank you. Super chats are another way you guys can support what we do here at the live stream. It's that little $sign at the bottom of the chat. And I thank you guys. That money will go to the Sharpie Fund. And I'm getting low on on white paper. There we go. So it's about time for me to get some more paper. The paper fund and the Sharpie Fund. I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you. Okay, let's teach you a lesson you never forget. When the world, how did I put this? The question is, when the world hands you CFG, that's kind of a cute name. Here's what you do when the world, cancel. Here's what you do when the world hands you CFG. Bear with me, you guys. We are about to see options galore. Okay. Although it's still only one page. You guys know I love getting things onto one page. Okay, that's good. Excellent. When the world hands you CFG, let's make some lemonade, right? Why not? Okay. This page, number one, does not require you to be good at an F chord. Don't worry about whatever you conceive of as an F chord. Don't worry about it. If you're already great at F, good for you. Excellent. But this is for everybody. Secondly, this page is not intended to be a substitute for learning the good old-fashioned F chord. But you can use this page to find alternatives. Let's call them alternatives to regular F as opposed to substitutes. You still want to work on your F chord. Okay, so I know it's a little bit small. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it big. Okay, get ready. The page is about to get a lot bigger. How about that? I'm going to go one bigger and like that. Okay. I always worry that someone's going to fall out of their computer chair when they see the page suddenly jump out at you like that. Okay, so let's just do it. Let's do it, and then we'll talk about why, how, all that kind of stuff. Make a little space. I need a little leg room down here. That's better. Okay. In the first measure, we see the traditional C. We see the 4-string version of F. And again, don't get hung up. I'm tuning up real quickly here, you guys. Don't get hung up on how good you are at that F chord or any F, the bar chord F or whatever. At least don't worry about that at the moment. And you see G, right? C, F, and G. By the way, I chose C, F, and G. Number one, it's an extremely common family of chords. Number two, because I'm sensitive to the fact that F can be an irritant. I thought, well, why not show you some alternatives in general? Okay, now let's hop right into that second measure, C555. Hey, does that sound familiar? That's the C that we talked about earlier. We're talking about the one finger A, now it's a one finger C, 555. You don't have to do it with one finger. You could use 3 separate fingers, but I can't urge you strongly enough to just do it with one finger. Your thumb should be exactly opposite your index finger, creating a nice pinch. Your thumb definitely shouldn't be poking out. I should not be able to see your thumb. If I could see you the way you can see me, I should not be able to see your thumb poking out like that. And your thumb definitely shouldn't be parallel to the neck like that. I want you to consider if you had something small like a golf ball or a strawberry in the palm of your hand. That's about the amount of space you should have between the palm of your hand and the neck of the guitar. And creating that space will go a long way towards getting a good squeeze. I know your index finger is touching the skinny string. That's fine. You can't not touch it if you're like me. Just don't strum the skinny string, okay? C, base of the 5th fret. F, base of the 10th fret. G, base of the 12th fret. Okay, there's a CFG possibility. How about at the end of line 1? C, 3, 5, 5. 90-something% of my students do the 5 and 5 with their middle and ring. And it baffles me because that feels hard. It feels so much easier to use my ring and pinky, but odds are 90% of you reached up there with your middle and ring as well. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. It just feels like, ooh, my hand doesn't like that. My hand likes ring and pinky. F, 5, 6, 5. Ring a bell? That's the F chord being, fretted the way you'd fret a D chord. It's the D formation up 3 frets, 5, 6, 5. And G, 2 frets up from that. By the way, you are going to see a consistent pattern on this page. However you play F, the G is always 2 frets higher. Same everything, just 2 frets higher. F, G, F, G. Okay, now before we go on to line 2, why are we doing this? Or when would you ever use this? Picture a situation where you're playing with another musician who's playing a chordal instrument. Could be a guitar, could be a piano, right? And at the moment, let's assume that other musician has the chords covered. They're banging out C, F, and G, the cowboy chord versions down here. And they've got that going on. You don't want to be the second person playing that. You certainly want to be the third or fourth person playing the exact same chords the same way. You want to be the person who knows alternatives, right? And the same could go on piano, even though the piano chords are, it's the piano versions of these chords. It's also a great opportunity to experiment with alternative ways of doing C, F, and G rather than having only one option, only one tool in your toolbox, right? And then in a perfect world, all the stuff on this page and you're comfortable with it. And as the piano player plays the song with C, F, and G chords, you experiment with these until you find the right combination that works for you, Okay, line 2, C, 8, 8, 9. Please, please, please do the 8, 8 with one finger. Please, please. Don't use 2 separate fingers for those 2 8s. Please don't. It pains me. I know one of you is doing it right now. You're like, he can't see me. I'm just gonna. I've never come across a song where using 2 fingers to play like those 2 notes. I've never come across a song where that was the right thing to do. And believe me, if I'd be the first to admit if it did, but never, 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 never. 1 finger, 2 strings. You got to do it. You got to do it. If it doesn't sound good, keep working at it. Again, hide your thumb down out of sight, but your thumb should be pointing up towards the ceiling. Your palm should be a little bit away from the guitar, as if there's a little plum right there, right? I know this is not easy for everybody. I get it. Hang in there. Roll over your index. Use the skin on the side of your index. Which side? The skin on the side of your index closest to your thumb. when you roll that finger backwards, you're going to feel your left elbow coming in towards the guitar. That gives you a fighting chance, at least with practice, to get a nice clear sound. Okay, that's the C that is 8-8-9, followed by F, 8-10-10. Remember I said G is always just F up 2 frets. There's a G, 10, 12, 12. Okay, now the last two, power chords. Power chords are neither major nor minor. That means you can substitute a power chord for either a major or minor chord. Why not? Power chords are so easy. You don't want to. You want to have them in your toolbox. 3, 5, 5. There's a C, F, and G. A little rock and roll kind of sound, right? You take away the major or minor flavor, and you're left with a very powerful combination known as a power chord. So see that C5? By the way, the reason why power chords have that 5 designation, by definition, a power chord is the first note of the major scale, in this case, the C major scale, and the 5th note of the relevant scale, in this case, the C scale. First note and the 5th note, we happen to be doubling that first note again. C, G, and high C. The first note of a C scale, the 5th note of a C scale, and the first note of a C scale again, just the higher, 1 octave higher. You could say root 5th octave. Okay? So somebody's banging out C, F, and G, you reach over and you get the power chord version of C, F, and G. Very cool sound, Okay. And then the very last thing on the page, no, it's not. It's the last thing that we can see on the page is just more power chords. I'm going to zip up so you can see that. Okay. Take a look at that. I'm going to wet my whistle. Take a look at the bottom of the page, arpeggios. Okay, I'm back. What do you notice? A C arpeggio, an F arpeggio, and a G arpeggio. And then I present it 2 different ways. The bottom line sounds like this. I'm going to do it kind of slowly but steadily. Here I go. I kind of jammed them together just because I was getting towards the end of the page, the bottom of the page. If the C chord lasted for 4 counts, I might go. And for the F and G. See, I'm spending more time on each arpeggio. I'm hitting the notes a little bit more. But the way I presented it is very condensed. That's just because of space on the page. Okay, so what did I do there? I played the 3 notes that are the ingredients of a C major chord. I played the note C, the note E, and the note G. And if you take a look at my left hand, I know my little thumbnail in the corner of the screen, I'm essentially, grabbing a C chord. I don't have to have my index finger down, but that's how I got those 3 notes. For the F, I'm definitely not doing a proper F chord because I don't need the skinny string for what I wrote there, but I do need the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. I know you can't tell from looking at me. You can't tell exactly what my index finger is doing, but all my pressure is on the 2nd string, 1st fret, and I'm not even thinking about the 1st skinny string. I'm playing F, A, C, and that's enough. That's an F chord. An F chord, by definition, is the note F, the note A, the note C. Remember I said, whatever you do for F, just move it up 2 frets, and that's G. Okay, so again, this scenario, say there's another guitar player strumming a C, and they're strumming an F, and then they're strumming a G. They've got that covered. Well, here you come, and you're like grabbing this, you're take the arpeggio approach. It's back to C again. Okay, easy. It's easy. And especially if they've got the chords and the rhythm, they've got that covered, then you've got some freedom. You are liberated. I use that word. You're liberated, right? You're not obligated to do any one thing in terms of, some specific repetitive rhythm, or, it's a nice position to be in. But in a way, you get to show off a little bit, because you're not just the other guy strumming more chords. Okay, and that's the bottom, the very last thing. It's the same idea, but the hard way, meaning no open strings. Well, why would I teach you the hard way with no open strings? Somebody answer. Why would I show you this? There's no zeros, but somebody. Why would I teach you? It's not for the pure challenge of it, although yes, it makes it more difficult. I know you know. Why is that last example? It actually sounds the same as the previous example. Where are we here? Yeah, it sounds the same. Why would I show you a harder way of doing something that was, relatively speaking, it was just, it was easy. You know why? When you learn something with no zeros, no open strings, Randy, ding, 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 ding. Randy, you get 5,000 points, 6 gold stars, and a hearty handshake. Yeah. You learn something with no open strings, and chances are it's the type of thing that you can move up the neck. Because remember, this whole page, the title of this page, When the World Hands You CFG. Well, what if it hands you GCD, F, B flat, C, some other key, right? The three, major chords that make up the song Paradise that we did a little while ago, D, G, A. Well, guess what? You could apply this whole page to Paradise. Just move everything up 2 frets. The D, G, A family is simply 2 frets higher than the C, F, G family. At least that's one simple way to look at it. Take everything on this page, move it up 2 frets, and you have the stuff you need to play along with Paradise. Because, hey, this joker, me, I had the chords covered, right? So that would open up the possibility for you to do this type of thing. All right, there you go. A lesson you never forget. Take a wild guess where the PDF for this lesson is. It's available for you at my website. Just head over to the PDF section and scroll way down towards the bottom, and you'll see that PDF. Randy, thank you for asking a question. Randy says, do you use the Keith Richards trick for this? Yeah, you got it. 1 finger C on the 5th fret. You got it. Oh, well, yes, I know what you're talking about. I didn't directly use that, but that's a perfect example. Now, why didn't I illustrate that? It's a little bit hard for some people. So Randy's talking about, there's my 1 finger C chord. I'm doing my little bar. It's like the A chord, right? A 1 finger A chord up at the 5th fret. And Keith Richards makes a lot of use out of clamping down with that 1 finger major chord and then doing whatever his creative mind I can imagine with the remaining fingers. So I don't remember what key Start Me Up is in, but there's my 1 finger C at 5-5-5. I'm adding my middle finger, 2nd string 6, ring finger, 4th string 7. Definitely requires some arching of those fingers. C to F, C to F. Absolutely one of my favorite things on the guitar is the 1 finger major chord turning into a partner chord. You could describe this as the 1 chord going to the 4, C going to F. That's one way to describe it. And then my whole hand is going to shift up 2 frets for the G. C to F to G. So I did not put that on that page again because it's a little bit tricky, and there's this other slightly easier stuff that I wanted to show. What I just did just then, I'll put that in the description of this video. I'll put the tab in the description of this video. All right, you guys, I'm gonna take a breath. I want to thank you for being here on a Friday. Remember, the reason why we're doing this on a Friday is tomorrow night I'm going to be playing for about an hour. It's like a backyard party with my friend Clay. And knock on wood, I'm going to stream that on YouTube just the way I do this. I just don't know the exact starting time, but it's going to be about the same time as this live stream started, which was 7 p.m. Eastern. I just don't know what kind of notifications you'll get from YouTube once I start it. But it's all going to be recorded, so you can watch it afterwards too. But if you want to see me and Clay in action, strumming, singing, rocking out, I'd love it. And that's why we're doing this on a Friday instead of Saturday. Hey, DAC Poet, welcome. Debbie is here. Hey, Debbie, welcome. Okay, you guys, so we're not done. Oh, we're not done. Don't you go anywhere. No, if you have to leave, thank you for being here. Winston is still here. Hey, Winston. Wow, I can't believe it. Well, Winston, we got one more thing, but this is more like a review. But it's I find value in this. So this would be the last thing. Although I'm not, you guys have any questions, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Here is the first 5 challenge. We did this last week, I know. But this is just a hot little lesson plan that, in my mind, that's what I call it, a lesson plan. Kind of like a grade school teacher has a lesson plan. And I've just been having more and more fun, just plain fun, doing this with students. Or I should say they're having fun, my in-person students and my online students. And if they're having fun, I'm definitely having fun, 100%. So there we go. If your screen goes black for a minute, don't worry. Hey, Joseph is here. Joseph says, huge fan. My first live I've been able to visit. All right, Joseph. So maybe that's because it's on a Friday. Is that why you could make it? That's awesome. Awesome. It's fantastic. So the first 5 challenge. Quick reminder, what's going on here? Instead of strumming the chord, you're playing the first 5 notes of the scale that relates to the chord. So I wrote this down partly as an exercise because it does function as an exercise. Take a look at the top of the page. Our hypothetical song, extremely common chord progression, C to A minor to F to G. And the premise here, you could imagine someone else is strumming those chords or playing them on another chordal instrument, the piano, the piano and the accordion, and you're going like this. So I intended it kind of as a, number one, as a little exercise. Sounds kind of pretty, right? There's an orderliness to it. I played the first 5 notes of a C major scale. I played the first 5 notes of an A minor scale, and so on, right? You get the idea. Okay. The second thing, what kind of kicked this off is a student was playing the piano for me, and I noticed that the low notes with the left hand were doing this exact thing. Dum, 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 while the right hand played the piano melody. And I thought, wow, it was very repetitive. It was very clear. That was very intentional. And I thought, wait a minute, if that's good enough for a piano accompaniment, then it's good enough for a guitar accompaniment. So I thought, okay, instead of strumming a chord, even if no one's strumming the chord and you're the only instrument, you could do this as rhythm guitar. That's why the subtitle there is playing rhythm guitar with scales. You could do that. You're communicating notes that reflect those chords up above. You're just not strumming them. you know, but why not? It's an alternative. Why not? You know? Now, this is where it got good. The students I've been doing this with, everybody like has their own take on this. One guy immediately played each one of these backwards. So the C measure and the A minor measure. And it sounds so cool. And the G measure. The benefit there is the final note of the 5 would then be the root note of the chord. I had everyone starting on the root note of the chord. C, D, E, F, G. You know, a C chord is our scenario. That's what, say, the piano player's playing, and you're starting on the note C. I thought, never occurred to me to do it backwards where you end on the root note. I thought, oh, well, okay, well, there's another take on it. Listen to how cool it sounds. If I play the first measure as written, I reverse the second measure, third measure as written, reverse the fourth measure. It sounds like this. It sounds like something. It sounds like we got something going on, you know? Okay, another one of my students immediately started improvising. So I'm strumming the C chord, and the first couple of times they played it as written. And then without any prompting from me, they started going. Like, well, that was fun. And so then I said, okay, now let's do it for real. How about if we I'll give you like 8 counts in each chord. C, 2, and he was improvising 5, 6, 7. Then here comes A minor, and he was improvising with the A minor notes. Right? Oh, it was so fun. You know, it's so fun. So this is like the gift that keeps on giving, and that's just the first line, right? Subsequent lines are this exact same concept, but in different keys. You know, so far I've been doing just the first line with people because we're having fun and things are happening, and there's not even time to get to the second line yet. I don't know. You just never know. It's like a video that goes viral. Who knows? Who knows why? Right? Who knows? Why do I call it the first 5 challenge? You're playing the first 5 notes of the major scale, and the word challenge just sounds like a clickbait kind of name for it. If I called it play the first 5 notes of the major scale or the relevant scale, I don't know. That's who's going to do that, right? The first 5 challenge. All right. People want to step up to the plate and take the first 5 challenge. Okay, questions, comments? What I definitely recommend is record yourself using your phone. If you're lucky enough to have a looper, you can make a loop for yourself, you know. But even just recording yourself with the phone, playing those chords, C, A minor, F, and G, and then you can decide whether you want to do 4 counts per chord. I recommend at least 4, but you can give yourself 8 counts per chord. Here's the deal. If you're going to be improvising, I definitely recommend 8 counts per chord. If you want to play it like as written there, then only 4 per chord. Either way, though, record yourself. If you're using your phone, I mean, I'm serious. It's an absolutely great thing to do, but you got to record yourself for a solid minute or more than a minute. It's going to feel like forever. You're going to get your phone, you're going to hit record on your voice memo app or however you can record yourself on your phone, and you're going to start strumming the C for 4 counts. Nice basic down strums. A minor for 4 counts. You want this strumming to be nice and boring because you're going to be playing along with this, and you don't want whatever's going on here to be unsteady in any way, right? Nice, boring down strokes. I'm holding the pick very lightly, just nice, steady strokes. But do that for a minute. It's going to seem like forever. You're going to look at your phone. It's like it's only been 30 seconds. Oh, my God. Do it for more than a minute if you can. Try not to speed up or slow down. That's not easy. Once you have that, though, then you're all set. In fact, your recording app on your phone might even allow you to loop it so you never even have to touch your phone again. Oh, if your phone app allows you to loop it, then obviously you don't have to do it for a minute, right? You can do it for 1 or 2 times through, and you're all set. But then, yeah, knock yourself out. You can play it as written. You can play them backwards. You can play them forwards and backwards. Improvise. I don't know, man. For a humble little lesson plan, this has taken on a life of its own. Or maybe I'm crazy. Or both things could be true. They're not mutually exclusive. Ah, man, maybe that's a good note to end on. Thank you for being part of my weapon of mass instruction. That's what we do here, usually on Saturdays. Tonight, it's a Friday weapon of mass instruction. DAC Poet says all of the options regarding the poll, all of the options. Before I say good night, let's check in with our poll results. If you haven't voted, this is your absolute last chance to vote in the poll. What else do you want to play beyond the guitar? Ukulele, banjo, mandolin, or other. And of course, if you guys already play those instruments, then let us know that too. So other came in at 54%, ukulele 22%, banjo 14%, mandolin 11%. Very cool, very cool. You guys, I hope you can tune in tomorrow night to see Clay and I rock out approximately 7 p.m. Eastern, but no guarantees there. It'll be recorded in case you don't can't watch it live because you have a life, because it's Saturday night. I get it. And that is Eastern time, 7 o'clock, approximately 7 o'clock Eastern time. Hey, Music Fan is our moderator tonight. Music Fan, thank you for being here. Music Fan 1004 says, thank you to those Friday night bikers. That's right, you song bikers out there. Thank you for jumping in on a Friday night. So we all have Saturday night off. What are we going to do? The mind reels, what are we going to do tomorrow night? I want to say thank you and good night to Randy, DAC Poet, Joseph Winston, Debbie, Joseph Galasso, Wingo, Randy and Chaz, thank you for your super chats. Who else? Ralph, thank you for being here. For Benny Bear, thank you for being here. A2Z Me, thank you guys. See Joseph Martinez, Matt Delahunt, a lot of familiar names here in the chat. Thank you guys for being here on a Friday night. All right, you guys, next week, back to Saturday. Teach you a lesson you never forget. And I hope you have some questions for me. Don't forget to use that the Sweetwater affiliate link. That'll be in the description of this live stream. Consider being a member of my website, song-bike.com. I'd love to see you over there, taking advantage of the PDFs and stuff over there at the website. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, you guys. Happy weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. Hope it's not too hot where you're at. It's getting pretty hot here in Connecticut. Oh, well, it is summertime. First day of summer tomorrow, right? There you go, right on cue. I'll see you guys next Saturday night, back at the usual time. Take care. Have a great night, and I hope you have a lot of opportunities to play the guitar. Good night, everybody.